So whether it's fixing older trim or filling in gaps from newly placed baseboards, learning how to caulk trim is really the first step to being a true DIYer. Let me show you how. First thing to consider is that there are various types of caulk to choose from. To pick the right one, review the label to see which fits the need of the project. For interior trim, I recommend a latex caulk. Next, grab a decent caulk gun. The smooth rod caulk gun will be your new best friend, as it makes applying caulk easy peasy. For older trim, to clean up the surface, wipe it down with rubbing alcohol. Let that surface dry. To prep the surface, use painter's tape to help guide your line. Place tape on both sides of the line you want to make, one on the wall and the other on the piece of trim. Use a utility knife to cut the tip off of the caulking tube at a 45-degree angle. There might also be a nozzle cutter built into your caulking gun. Either way, it's that 45-degree angle that really matters. Finally, use the thin metal rod attached to the caulking tube to pierce the inner seal through the nozzle. To load the caulk gun, press the metal trigger on the back and pull your rod as far back as you can. Then insert the tube bottom first. Once placed, pull the trigger until the base plate of the rod is firmly against the tube. Now the tube is set up. Practice using the caulk gun on a piece of cardboard. Squeeze the trigger and move down the line at a 45-degree angle and at a consistent pace. If you go too slowly, the caulk might end up clumping, and too fast, areas might not get covered. If the line is too small, cut it again to make the size line you are looking for. To caulk, start away from your body and move the line toward you. Make sure to point the tip towards the seam. If the tip of the nozzle clumps up at all, use a damp rag to wipe it clean. For a beautiful finish, dip your finger in water and then run the wet finger over the caulk. This will also help push the caulk into the seam and make sure the seal is tight and smooth. Wipe your finger with the wet rag to remove the caulk. Now that you're done, remove the painter's tape and let it dry. Fantastic! Now that your trim is dry, it's ready to paint. To learn more, go to familyhandyman.com.